Welcome to Keep It Pro Training Call, brought to you by Networking Wisdom, featuring Romacio Fulcher. Thank you all for joining us. Happy New Year 2021. My name is Monique. I'm introducing Romacio, the creator of Networking Wisdom, and the reason for this call each Sunday for 4 years at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On this call, you will learn the skills to be successful in network marketing and in life. Romacio Fulcher is a well-respected international leader, trainer, coach, and much sought-after mentor. He is a highly successful entrepreneur with 750,000 people globally in his network and has accomplished over $1 billion in sales. Yes, you heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. He's accomplished over $1 billion with a B in sales. Romacio enjoys having fun and sharing his wisdom worldwide. He is a millionaire mentor, leader of leaders, and coach of coaches. As a top leader and a top earner, he's also a top 50 worldwide earner in MLM. At the tender age of just 25 years young, Romacio earned his first $1 million. He's a multi-millionaire and has helped countless individuals. This man knows how to make money, and he knows how to make money fast. What we all like most about him is his love for God and mankind. Without further ado, I introduce to some and present to others our mentor and friend, the California Kid, the Marketplace Minister, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Romacio, are you with us?
Absolutely, I am here. Thank you so much. Welcome to 2021, everybody. Happy New Year. I pray, I decree, and declare that this year is going to be radically different for you than last year. You know, they say that the only thing that keeps us happy, write this down, the only thing that keeps us happy as human beings is progression. So I pray that all of us together, all of you listening live and all of you that will listen to the replay, that we can make progress. There's no such thing as a perfect man, but my aim in life is just to be a progressive man. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2021. I love the last part of that, 2021. If you believe in like me, you've already won. You see, when you're a believer, you're fighting from a position of victory. You're not fighting for the victory. You're fighting from a position of victory. You've already won. So, guys, listen, today I'm excited to be here with you guys. This is going to be a very short call, but it's going to be effective. If this is your first time joining us, guys, we've been doing this for almost 5 years. Right here on this same number at this same time. It's absolutely free. It's open to every single body, no matter where you are in the world. And the concentration of this call, guys, is we train on 2 specific things. Number one, we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top of whatever business you are promoting. I don't know if you are aware, but the network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing industry is on fire. Let me say that again. I don't know if you've been reading the paper lately, but direct sales, network marketing, digital-based platforms, affiliate marketing, it is on fire right now. Some of you have been declaring, some of you have been praying, asking God for a secondary stream of income. And, and some of you sit there and say that you're waiting on God to show you something. And God is sitting there saying, hey, girl, hey, man, you're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. Hello. The direct sales industry is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, I love being an entrepreneur. Ideas are being born every day. Some of the sharpest minds, they may look rough behind the ears. They may not look like they might be your cup of tea, but thank God he hid the miracle on the inside. There's men and women out there today that are coming up with solutions that are actually solving today's problems. So what I'm saying to you is money is important, and direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call this thing, it's on fire. This is a viable option. Viable option. How do I know? I've done it for 12 years at a 14 years. At a very, very high level, and God has blessed me. So much so that I'm turning around, sharing with you, as they say, pearls of wisdom. I'm sharing with you the pearls of wisdom, how to do this thing. I've been in multiple companies. I'm not a one-hit wonder. This is what I do, and you can do it too. And so I want to encourage you, if this is your first time or you're back again looking for income, network marketing is a viable option. I want you to strongly consider. You need advice? Reach out to somebody. Definitely, this profession is on the rise. With COVID and everything that's happening where we can't socialize and we can't be face-to-face with people like we're accustomed to, if you notice, virtually every business, including the National Basketball Association, the NBA, every business has now begun to increase their digital footprint. It's amazing how something that people laughed at for the last decades, network marketing, affiliate marketing, word-of-mouth advertising, I would never be caught dead doing one of those things. Well, it looks like right now this thing here is thriving while the economy in many cases is suffering. So I beg your pardon. You better strongly reconsider. You better strongly reconsider. Absolutely. You better look at it again. You better take another look. This thing is cooking. It really is, okay? So we teach you the specific skills week in and week out on how to get to the top of whatever it is you're promoting, all right? But then we also teach you life skills as well. We always tell you every week, as you grow as an individual, anything you are attached to will grow. Now, I'm going to break that down for you today because we're going to get into what's going to make the difference for you here in 2021, right? We're going to get into what's going to make the difference for you in 2021. Let me say that again. When you grow, okay, let's talk about that. When you grow, everything around you automatically grows, all right? I remember, now look here, we're going to have a little fun with this. I remember when I used to have very low self-esteem, I had low self-worth, I remember. And as a result of that, I would only choose, this is back when I was a lot younger, I'm 42. Tuesday, God willing, I'll be 43. Can you believe it? Man, time flies. It don't wait for nobody. But anyway, when I was a lot younger, I had a low self-esteem. And as a result of having a low self-esteem, I only attracted low self-esteem type people. I mean, I'm talking, here it is, I'm a man, and, I was trying to do my little dating thing and everything, and it seemed like the only type of women that I would attract back then were low self-esteem people. Okay? But here's the good part of the story. When I decided to grow, and I really got serious where when I grew, meaning my image of myself, my expectation of myself, my education of who I am, what I can do, right? When all of that truly became real to me, are you listening? When all of that truly became real to me, everything around me grew automatically. All of a sudden, I no longer was interested in people with low self-image, low self-esteem, because that's not who I was anymore. You see what I'm saying? No longer was it acceptable for you to talk to me about how broke you are and all the little broke cliches that we hear in the barbershops, and we hear people saying, it's like a habit. We just say these little things. And I became very conscious and aware of that's not acceptable for you to talk to me like that. So I started deleting people from my life. Homeboys of mine, friends of mine that, I used to think it was pretty cool and hip to kind of hang out with that group of people, and, all of a sudden I outgrew them. Wait a minute. I outgrew them. All of a sudden their conversation seemed small to me. It just didn't fit. What I'm saying to you, as you grow, everything else around you will grow. All of a sudden, I was raised in a household, middle-class family, that we ate certain type of food. We ate chicken, we ate pork, we ate beef, we ate it all, right? Well, as I grew, based upon my understanding of meat and how certain things could affect me, all of a sudden I changed some of the foods I would eat. I'm just giving you a variety of different examples to make the point that as you grow, everything around you is automatically going to grow. Everything is. Your taste buds are going to change. Your taste for what you think health looks like. Your taste for what you think real wealth looks like. Your taste for what you think is beautiful. You see? I remember, I grew up in East Oakland, and I love being from East Oakland. I love where I grew up, you know, and my family, you know, everybody in my family, you know, including my mama, we all got a nice booty. Everybody got booty, everybody. So I grew up around booty, booty, booty. That's what I did. And all of a sudden, you know, that's what I saw. That's what I gravitated towards. That's all I thought was beautiful. If you didn't have a big booty, you wasn't beautiful. My point is, as I grew and I started not just to focus on external things and I began to look internal, things changed for me. I'm just making the point to all of you listening. The reason for you being on this call is so that you should be growing in two areas. Number one, if you're involved in a marketing-based business, we are going to teach you the specific skills. But if you notice for the last 5 months, 4 months or so, we've been focusing on life skills because when you grow, everything else around you automatically grows. See, a lot of times I'm reminded, you know, throughout my network marketing journey, I'm reminded of, you know, a lot of times we get involved because we want to make more money, we want more freedom, you know, these types of things, right? And what happens is it's like we have a focus. We want something. And so we'll go do what we have to do to get what it is that we want, right? Okay. Well, because you're dealing with people and people are not robots. So a lot of times what amateurs do, and I used to do this too, we hear our upline or somebody in our success team, we hear them saying a certain thing, and then we instantly start saying that same thing, but unfortunately it doesn't work for us, or we don't get the same results. You know, I'm reminded of my late cousin. He's no longer with us. His name was Gordon Choice. This brother was handsome. I mean, he was chocolate. I mean, he was just smooth. This brother was handsome. He was. I got to give it to him. Next to myself, I'd vote for him, right? He was a handsome dude. He was somebody I looked up to. Well, good dresser, good speaker, educated, right? He was all that, right? And I remember that you know, he was a really, really sharp dresser. He really was. And I'm reminded of how he was one of those guys that was really smooth, and it just seemed like the way that I remember him teaching me that, you know, the way you treat people, it matters. It's really important. And you have to actually, you know, treat people a certain type of way if you want to have a certain type of respect. And so I guess what I'm saying through that story there, that just kind of flew in my mind there. I guess what I'm saying there is that as you're involved in network marketing, you have to understand that this is a people-based business. You can't, people aren't robots. You just can't, just because, you know, you hear somebody else say it. I remember my cousin Gordon back to, you know, as he was dating women, and I would always look at him, and I was amazed by, he would have some just beautiful girlfriends. I was really amazed. And I remember going to him, and I would say, you know, what are you saying to these young ladies? And you know, and one day I happened to hear him on the phone doing his thing, and, you know, like a young cousin, I would kind of take some notes, and I would one day go try and say the same thing that he said to a girl, but it didn't work for me. And the difference there is, see, you can say the same thing, but if you're not coming from the same place, if you're not authentic in what you're saying, it's not going to work for you. If it's just rhetoric and you're just repeating or regurgitating what you heard someone else say, it's not going to work for you. And the point there that I'm making to you is that you're in a people-based business. And so that's why it's really important that as you grow, everything else around you is going to grow. In fact, many of you have probably heard that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So the reason why we concentrate on life skills, and we've really been focusing on that for the last 4 or 5 months, is because it's really important that we help you improve. We help you get a new perspective, right? We help you get your mind right. You see, anything God's going to ever do for you, there's two things that got to happen. Number one, it's got to be able to pass through your mind. Write that down. Anything God is ever going to do in your life, okay, he needs your participation, okay? What's that mean? That means it's got to be able to pass through your mind. That means your mind has got to be able to conceive the possibilities of what it is you've been imagining, right? What it is you've been hoping for. If it can't pass through your mind, it won't ever end up in your hand. This is really important. This is really important what we're talking about. So you've got to understand this is why it's so important that you spend an enormous amount of energy, an enormous amount of time on personal growth, right? You need to make 2021 a year of I'm going to spend more time, and we're going to get into the message here in just a second, but you need to make 2021 a year where you're going to spend more time growing you, okay? Look, you've heard this before, but let me ask you a question, and this is not to condemn or attack anybody. If I were to look at your life for the last 2 weeks, how much personal time have you spent growing you, growing your faith, and growing, your work ethic? How much time have you spent? And look, and it's not about, all right, who can spend the most time. I love how my grandmother used to say it. Look, it's not about can you do it one time, can you do it all the time, right? Consistency is what's going to win the race. And so, again, I want to encourage everybody that's listening to me live and those of you that are here to replay. Personal development is where your focus has got to be. That's where you've got to focus, because it's not until you shift, until you make the change, nothing's going to change. That's why I told you last week, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions anymore. I just don't. You can change the moment you decide to get serious about making a change. And now let me explain to you, what do you mean about getting serious? I didn't say get motivated, okay? I said get serious. And what happens in terms of getting serious about change is you get a new perspective. You get a new perspective about health. You get a new perspective about discipline. You get a new perspective about flossing your teeth. You get a new perspective about commitment. You get a new perspective about wealth. You get a new perspective about time. I love what the late Kobe Bryant said, and I love him for saying it. He said, one of the biggest mistakes that human beings make is they think they have more time. Woo! No, you don't. So, again, I'm coming back, and I know I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in fast. It's a new year, baby, okay? I'm letting you know that personal development, that is the key. How much time are you spending growing you? I don't care if it's 10 minutes a day, but my question to you, is it being done every day? You see, the Bible says day and night, meditate on these things. It tells us what to think on, right? We're talking about personal growth. The Bible tells us what to think on, okay? It specifically spells out what we should be thinking on, right? Now you say, well, why would you listen to the Bible? Well, first of all, we're talking about the Creator, the person who created you. You don't think the same challenges that you're going through that they didn't already been through? Well, got newsflash. Yes, they've already been through it. So the Bible tells us to think on whatsoever, and this is Philippians 4:8, to think on whatsoever things are true. See, now look, I'm not condemning you. As I'm saying these words to you, they apply to me as well. So we're growing together, right? Repeat after me. I want to grow right now. I want to grow right now. I want you to say it. I am growing right now. Say it right now. I am growing right now. I'm growing right now. Okay, so here we go. We're talking about growth. We're talking about thoughts are things, right? So everything in your life starts with a thought. So the first thing we have to learn how to regulate, and it's not easy. Write that down. It's not easy, but it's important, okay, is we've got to learn how to regulate our thoughts. Now, what the heck are you talking about, Romacio? Regulate my thoughts. Well, this is what I mean. You can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can certainly stop a bird from making a nest in your hair. Let me say that again. Write that down. You cannot stop a bird from flying over your head. In other words, you can't stop the thoughts that come through your mind, but you can stop a bird from making a nest over your head, right? All right? So here we go. When we talk about our thoughts, we want to think on whatsoever things are true. You should not be spending an enormous amount of time focusing and thinking about lies that were told to you or things that are untrue. Okay? Number one. Number two, whatsoever things are honest. Okay? You want to think on the things that are honest. And we all know what honesty is, right? Number three, you want to think on whatsoever things are just. Right? We're talking about just as in righteous. Right? Think on those things that are just. Number four, we want to think on whatsoever things that are pure. Number five, whatsoever things that are lovely. And number six, whatsoever things that are of good report. Those are the things that you and I should be aspiring to think on in our thought life, right? That's where we want to place our thoughts. Because when we can place our thoughts in those 6 things that I just mentioned, or 5 things that I just mentioned, 6 things that I just mentioned, if we can place our thoughts there, that's when we can attract abundance to come to us. That's when we can attract greatness to come out of us and come to us. That's when all of a sudden you begin to start cooking, you begin to start clicking on all cylinders, right? So again, go back to what I said. Anything God is ever going to do for you, and I know you've been waiting, you've been declaring, you've been decreeing what's going to happen, and blah, 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 all these wonderful things that you want to manifest in 2021, right? But anything God is ever going to do for you, he needs your participation. God is not a magic trick. Now, God will do the impossible. All throughout the Bible, we notice and we see and we learn that God he's done many miracles. He's a wonder-working miracle. That's what he is. He does miracles. That's absolutely true. All right? But how do we get this to happen for you? He needs your participation. So to get your participation, anything God is ever going to do for you, it's got to be able to pass through your mind. You might have heard this before. As a man conceive it, he can achieve it. You might have heard all things are possible to those that what? Believe. Okay? What are we talking about? Whatever God is going to do for you, heal the sick, feed the poor, pour out wealth to you, whatever it is, you've got to be able to conceive it. It's got to be able to pass through your mind. Write that down. Write that down. If it can't pass through your mind, you're not going to have it in your hand. This is so important. So to help you regulate your thought life, think on Philippians 4:8. Think on the things I just mentioned. It's not easy, but it's important, okay? So you say, Romacio, that sounds really good, man. Well, what do I do when I get a bunch of negative thoughts? Man, I had negative thoughts come to me this morning. I had negative thoughts come to me an hour ago. I had negative thoughts come to me yesterday. I told you, birds fly over my head all the time. But what I say to myself, I say, I cast down that thought. I instantly cast down that thought. Let me tell you why. Because, see, the devil, demonic energy, negative energy, dark energy, it wants to use fear to promote its agenda. So anytime guilt, shame, depression, negativity, any of those things, envy, jealousy, strife, any of that nasty stuff, fear, all that stuff is rooted in fear. Oh, I'm not going to make it. The virus is going to kill everybody. Oh, my God, if I don't get vaccinated, we're all going to die. You see, that's the enemy. And the devil, he knows that if he uses fear to stop, to discourage, and he uses fear to, most importantly, this is the big one. The biggest one is not just stopping and discouraging, it's distracting. He uses fear to distract you. Because if he can distract you, He now neutralizes the power that you have. And all of us have power. The problem is most of us don't know how to use our power. All right? We don't know how to use it. So the first thing we're talking about regulating your thought life. All right? We're talking about being able to, anything God's going to do for you, it's got to be able to pass through your mind. All right? Now, once it can pass through your mind, the next thing that has to happen is got to come out of your mouth, right? You've got to decree, declare. You've got to speak what it is. Listen, if you don't say something, you're not going to see nothing. You've got to speak what you want. You have to. You have to speak what's about to happen to you. You've got to speak the power. Watch this. See, a lot of times, God is a spirit. God does want good for all of us. God is going to bless you. God has already blessed you. But you've got to learn how to draw down the blessings. You've got to learn how to bring the blessing into manifestation. In other words, to make it happen for you, right? That requires you, your thoughts got to be right? Then you got to speak it, right? And then obviously you got to work towards it. Absolutely. This is not no name it and claim it. You've got to work towards it. Once again, thoughts, words, action. Thoughts, words, action. Thoughts, words, action. There it is. Write it down. Thoughts, words, actions. And the place where all of us, we slip up. You got to be. This is the place where all of us we slip up. It's in our words. It's what we say. But see, here's the deal. The reason why I'm excited that you're on these calls week in and week out for free is because we're helping you grow personally. As you grow personally, that means things around you are going to start to change and going to start to shift and change automatically. So as you grow, and the first part of your growth should be your thought life. That's real growth. If you're talking about real growth, it's, you know what, I used to do that, but I see things differently now. Some of y'all call it maturity. That's not for me no more. I'm going to exercise wisdom. And that's not as wise as I used to think that was. I now see things differently. Okay, that's called growth, ladies and gentlemen. That's called growth. And growth is not automatic. It's optional. Wisdom is not automatic. It's optional. You have to pursue wisdom. You have to yearn for wisdom. You have to desire more wisdom. You really do. And so being on this call, what happens is we're sharpening you, helping you. And again, the main goal is we want to know that you're growing. And anytime you hear me say that, what I'm saying is your thought life improving. Because if your thought life is improving, then it's just a matter of time before you start to see a whole new life, right? Everything starts with thoughts. Everything you physically can see, it all started from a thought, including your body. You were a thought in God's imagination that he brought to pass, right? So thoughts are critically important. Just remember that example I gave you. You can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop a bird from making a nest in your hair. You can. So when negative thoughts come to you, all I say is I cast down that thought, and I just follow that up with, Lord, I love you. Lord, I praise you. Lord, I thank you for your wisdom. Lord, I thank you that I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. Lord, I thank you for the blessings that you're actually sending my way right now. I know when I can't see it, that's when you're really doing it. Lord, I thank you because you do your best work in the dark. You see what I'm saying? I instantly cast down that thought. See, I don't have to figure everything out. All I've got to do is open my mouth and begin to give praise where praise is due, right? And they teach you that praise will take care of the battle for you, baby. Praise will take care of the battle. Praise will take care of the battle. And when you really get serious about praise, it shifts how you feel. It does. See, the issue or the challenge of no food, divorce, or whatever it is you're going through, it is tough. Come on, we're real people with real issues. That's tough. sickness and all this stuff, losing loved ones. I mean, who are we kidding? This is tough. But when we begin to shift our focus, and a quick way you can shift your focus, you heard it before, be grateful, but you also got to add to being grateful, you got to give praise. Give God the praise. You're still here. You're still alive. There's people out there that would love to trade places with you right now. You see, when you see those type of things I'm saying right there? You see, it now shifts your thoughts. It shifts your mind, right? And when you shift your mind, when you begin to shift your thoughts, now you can see things that you couldn't see before. See, when you were dark and you were going down that dark rabbit hole of thoughts, right, that spiral, you know what I'm talking about. That's a long stairway to come back up. So you want to get the hope here is that when you start seeing that stuff happen to you, man, you quickly snap out of it. You quickly snap out of it. And you say, well, how do I quickly snap out of it? Here's the answer. Write it down. You got to saturate your mind. That's why the Bible says day and night meditate on these things. Day and night. You've got to saturate your mind. So as you saturate your mind, there goes a new you. All of a sudden, you start thinking different. Possibilities are different. You view yourself different. You start to think about things differently. And as you begin to think, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? So where the majority of your thoughts go, that's where I find you, right there. There you is. There he is. There he is right there. That's him. That's her. I love what my mom said. She sums it up really good. She says, all that man is and all that man ever will be, all that man is and all that man ever will be, and this includes women, he has to discover it for himself. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to discover it for you. It doesn't matter how beautiful I think you are. If you don't think you're beautiful, if you don't think that wealth and riches will be in your house, if you don't think, you know what I mean? If you don't think X, Y, and Z about you, it doesn't matter what I have to say. There's something powerful about your voice, about what you believe about you, right? So again, you say all of this can change as you begin to saturate your mind. And that's why I encourage you, I salute you for those that have been listening into this free call, and just getting fed. Being an entrepreneur is not easy, but it is certainly worth it and definitely necessary. Okay? So what we want to do for the last 10 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes here on this call, is I want to now concentrate on what the message is here today. The message here today that we want to talk about is, if you had a chance to see the flyer, discipline makes the difference. Listen, every year, most people, we have all these resolutions and all these things, and it's sad to say that not even 10% of them get accomplished. It's just giving you the truth. And so we're going to do a little something different this year, okay? What I want to do is I want to encourage every single one of you to focus on one thing. And I'm going to give you some sound, wise, probably the best advice you're going to hear all year. I'm going to say that again. Discipline makes the difference. The difference between you back then and you in your future where you want to be, the difference is discipline. That's the difference. It's not circumstance. It's not who you know. None of that. The difference is discipline. Keep it simple. Let's keep things simple. Stop being complicated. Let's keep it simple. The difference is discipline. All right? Now, I'm going to show you how you can accomplish everything, all your dreams, everything that you want, with one discipline. With one discipline. I'm going to tell you in advance that what I'm about to tell you, for some of you, will be simple, and for others of you, it will be completely a whole new, it'll be very hard, because it's something you've never done before. But I believe firmly that this one discipline will change everything for you. Everything. Everything. Everything, everything, everything. Let's talk about it. Relationship will change. Health will get better. Wealth will definitely get better. Okay? Everything. Parenting. Self-esteem. Belief system. Everything will shift and change with this one discipline. And if you're wondering, before I even tell you what this is, how do I know? I've taken the last several months to study it. And I'm going to tell each and every single one of you that the one discipline that I'm going to ask you to let this be your only focus every day. If you just get this one thing right every day, I promise you, your life, you've had a successful day. But you got to agree that you're going to stick to this one thing. And that one thing, that one discipline is putting God first. Now, I'm going to define that. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm bringing it up again. You just started the new year. Let's start it off right. I want you to decide how much time on a daily basis, 7 days a week, are you willing to give God? Look, I'm not going to press you to pick a number. That's up to you. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes. But it has to be a discipline. Now, let me explain what I'm saying. I didn't say how are you going to pray every day. By the way, when you pray, all you're doing is inviting God into your situation. Praying is you talking to God. Reading and studying his word is God talking to you. So the discipline I'm asking you to do is not pray. Keep praying. Yeah, that's good. But I'm talking about how much time are you going to spend with God to let God talk to you? And again, how does God talk? Through his word. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing through the word. Now, some of you are wondering, man, why is he really pushing it? Well, I'm pushing it because there's some stuff that I know that you don't need to know, there's some stuff that I know that you don't know that you need to discover. And I know that you won't discover what it is that I hope for you to discover unless you put forth some discipline. But I'm telling you with absolute certainty, everything about your life, everything that you want, all the answers you want to any subject of life will all change if you agree to put forth discipline in this one area. I know I believe in working out. I believe in all that stuff. That's blah, blah, blah. I believe in all that stuff. I really do. But sometimes when you have, I heard it said this way, with human beings having busy lives, anything more than one is one too many to do. And I actually believe that because I like to keep things simple. Anything, like in other words, hey, look, I want you to go to the grocery store and I want you to go bring me some ketchup, some bread, some eggs, give me some olives, give me some Cornish hens, get me some chicken. Mama, that's too much. Look, can you just tell me what one thing do you need? That's too much, right? So what I'm saying, anything more than one is too much. I literally took my time before coming to this call and said just one thing, God, just one thing to give your people. One thing. We know that the people that are listening to this call aspire for wealth. They aspire for better relationships. They aspire for better health. They aspire to be closer to you. We understand all the needs and desires of all your children, myself included. But what's one thing, just one, that if we can just get this one thing right, everything else will take care of itself? And the answer is discipline, spiritual discipline. How much time are you willing to commit to on a daily basis? On a daily basis, are you willing to commit where God gets a chance to talk to you? I understand you pray, but I'm talking about where you allow him to actually talk to you. How much time? And again, how does God talk to you? From reading, listening, studying his word. That's how God communicates. Okay? I know some of you may be thinking, but I read his word and I don't really understand. Me too. Okay? That's why I find pastors or spiritual advisors that speak or Bibles or different translations in the Bibles that are very simple, and they talk to me just like how I'm talking to you. They talk in common everyday English that you can understand. So there's no excuse not to spend time with God to grow your faith. The only excuse would be you just don't want to do it. And that's your prerogative. If you don't want to do it, that's up to you. But I'm telling you with absolute certainty, I know you want to hit the next rank in your company. I know you want to do all these wonderful things. I know you've been thinking about how to do this and how to do that and what do I do, and I don't know if I can be a business owner, and I don't know, and I don't know, and blah, blah. And all these things are rattling around your mind, all these decisions to make. And you're looking for clarity, and I'm giving you the answer right now. Right now. This is the answer. See, the enemy wants to keep you so occupied with work, with all these other things that you have to do, children, husbands, wives, all this stuff, that you just don't have any time for the one person you should have time for. It's weird how it works. The enemy wants to distract you so you can't plug into the power source. Well, guess what? I got news for you. If you can't plug into the power source, no wonder why you're not exuding very much power. You got a power shortage. And the only reason you got a power shortage is because you're not plugged in. That's it. I'm not condemning you. I'm actually sharing with you that I know that this works. Scripture tells us when we get serious and we really seek him, we will find him. And, I used to think, God was just, I didn't think God could get really specific with my situation. So I'm going to give you some extra bonus stuff right here. Here it is. Write it down. Whatever challenge or issue or concern you have, there are scriptures in the Bible that will address that concern. Divorce, depression, sickness, wealth, health, relationships, favor, money. Whatever it is you want. I didn't know this until I made some time to begin studying. I didn't know. So guess what? Watch this. So when you don't remember the Bible, Philippians 4:8, it tells us to think on things that are honest, to think on things that are true, to think on things that are just. You see, when I didn't know in the past, guess what we do? We run to our friends to get answers to our situations, and we're not sure if the answer that they tell us is absolutely true, honest, and accurate. So next thing you know, we end up doing what our girlfriend or our homeboy or our buddies tell us to do. We end up copying their thought process all along, not even knowing that we're way off of what it says we should be doing. So it becomes a challenge of who are you going to trust more, your friend or the person who created you, the person who's already defeated the world. Now, if you just are listening to me and you are a non-believer and you don't believe anything about God's word, it's funny to me how when you ask a person, do you believe in God, they say yes. Okay, well, this is his word. So it's either you believe in him or you don't. Which one is it? It's funny to me how we love to put on our dollar bills, in God we trust. That's what it says, right? So we love to talk about God in our schools. We love God, 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 right? But I'm saying to you, how much time are we spending learning what his word teaches us? Meanwhile, we'll go live 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years trying to figure something out on ourselves, and we could have been over that issue, over that problem decades ago. We could have been to solve that decades ago. But because we weren't focusing, listening to what is true, we got caught up in our feelings. We got caught up in what we heard so-and-so say, what our culture taught us, what we heard mom and dad. We didn't go seek it for ourselves. That's why I'm telling you in 2021, I'm telling you what needs to happen here. Discipline is the difference. Discipline is going to make the difference. Spiritual discipline is the answer to your next promotion. Spiritual discipline is the answer to your health getting better. Spiritual discipline is the answer to your relationship getting back on track. Spiritual discipline is the answer to you learning how to tame your tongue. Spiritual discipline is the answer on you being more kinder. Normally when you get all snappy, spiritual discipline is the answer to you getting rid of greed and learning The reason why it's called currency is because you're supposed to keep the current flowing. Spiritual discipline is going to help you with learning how to pay tithes, pay offering. In other words, give more versus trying to hoard more. See, all of these challenges that you got going on, spiritual discipline is going to teach you more about forgiveness. Spiritual discipline is going to teach you how to be a better communicator, a better speaker, a better thinker. Spiritual discipline is going to teach you about how to get favor. Spiritual discipline is going to teach you how to be a better husband, a better wife. Spiritual discipline is going to show you the consequences of some of the things that you've been doing. Spiritual discipline is the wisdom that you need. See, you think money is the answer to your problem. You think you need money. No, you need wisdom. That's the answer. And in order to get that wisdom, you've got to plant the seed of time. Hence why I said, how much time are you willing to spend on a daily basis? Again, you don't have to impress anybody. You know what? I'm going to spend 5 hours. Stop it. No, you're not. You're not going to spend 5 hours every day. So cut that out. You ain't got to be He-Man here. Let's pick something that's realistic for you. You can always adjust it, but something that you can do. Just get started. You know, you heard the adage, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You know the drill. I'm just telling you, look no further. This is the answer. And notice, not one time did I talk about church. Not one time did I talk about religion. I didn't say anything like that. I said God. Period. I am 1,000,000,000% convinced this is the answer. Have you ever wondered, do you even know what is the largest organization in the entire world, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what the largest organization of mankind is in the entire world? Let me give you the answer. It's the church. The church is the largest organization of mankind. It's larger than Facebook. It is. It's the church. Obviously, you know, a lot of controversy, all that stuff. We're not talking about all that. What we're focusing on is a relationship. We're focusing on you having a better, closer, connected, more informed, wiser relationship. And it is wonderful if you start with, well, you know what? All right, okay, I'm going to spend X amount of time hearing from God every day. And you know what, God, I want to start with this issue first. God loves it. He loves it. You start with the issue. When we talk about Paul, Saul to Paul, that man had an issue. That man had, long story short, that man, he was literally on the road traveling. He went blind. He said, if you're real, then, you know, God didn't, I need you to solve my problem right now. I'm blind. I can't see. And next thing you know, boom, formed a miracle, and now he can see. Oh, my goodness. This Jesus is real. And all of a sudden, that became the turning point for him to be interested in learning more about Jesus Christ. In other words, he went to God, he went before God with a need. God loves it when you come to him with a need. So there's nothing wrong. Okay, you need money? Start with money. You need this? Start with that. When I say start, what I'm talking about, I want you to research the specific scriptures for that issue. And don't focus on nothing else until you get that issue resolved. That's right. Because that way you can rest assured that your full attention will be focused on you, hearing from God. Because see, you need something. And there's nothing wrong in coming with God with a need, and then once he fulfills that need, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be like, well, wait a minute. If he can help me with that, well, then hold on here. Well, let me hear. Well, hold on. I got a whole bunch of stuff in my closet. I need you to help this. I need to get this fixed. I've been dreaming about that. Well, can you help? Yes, he can handle all that. And now there you go. You and him begin to have your own relationship, and you begin to walk down the yellow brick road and begin to have a nice, intimate connection where he understands you more than you understand yourself. And the cool part about God is he'll always be there with you, always. He'll be closer to you than a brother, than a wife, than a husband. He'll always be there. And so where I want to start the year off is I want to start the year off really sharing with all of you. This year, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear a lot of stuff from a lot of different people. Social media, TV, your friend, your own thoughts, blah, blah, blah. You're going to hear a lot of stuff this year, just like you heard a lot of stuff last year. And I'm asking you to re-listen to this call and focus on one thing. Just get one thing right. One thing right. Just one. And that one thing is spiritual discipline on a daily basis. Will you commit to that? Will you commit to that for your sake right now? Just that. Will you? I know you've tried everything else. You've tried alcohol. You've tried this. You've tried that. You've tried sex. You've tried, 1,000 boyfriends. You've tried everything. I read yesterday, I seen something. Man been married 8 times. My goodness. Look, I'm not condemning. I'm not judging. I had never seen that before. He'd been married 8 times. What I'm saying is try this, because I know this works. I know this is going to work. All right? So, guys, if you'll do it, if you've already decided at the sound of my voice, it resonated with you, you know what? If this feels right, then I want you to say it wherever you are. I can't hear you, but say, I'll do it. I'll do it. But I want you to mean it. I'm not worried about you getting your lunch right and all that other stuff right and getting the right gas in the car. I'm not worried about that. I want you to get one thing. Like I said, anything more than one is too many. Get this right. And watch what happens. I love how Scripture says, He's the vine and you are the branch. And if you, the branch, will stay connected to the vine, boom, you will surely see some fruit. Let me say it again. He's the vine and you are the branch. And if the branch stays connected, if the branch stays connected to the vine, you will surely produce fruit in your life. That's why what you have to do, what we got to do, is stay connected. How much time are you willing to spend on a daily basis? Ladies and gentlemen, there is no wrong answer. If your answer is 5 minutes a day, God can do wonders in 5 minutes. God can do wonders in 15, 20, 30 minutes. Now, there ain't no such thing, I got to spend 5 hours before the Lord to get an answer. Stop. Whoever's telling you that, just hang up the phone. Okay? There's nowhere it says, the more time, whoever spends the most amount of time gets the biggest blessing. It doesn't say that. But be consistent, because God is jealous. Be consistent. I know that if you get confused throughout this year, if you fall off track, because we all fall off track at times. We all do, right? Come back to this call right here. I want you to save this call. This is the one. This is the one that's going to take you through the whole year. This single free call, this is the one that did it for you right here. This is your answer. I made it simple, made it clean, made it easy. This is it right here. This call right here is the one. There'll be a lot of good calls, but there'll never be another call as powerful as spiritual discipline, because discipline makes the difference. Guys, I'm the California Kid. I love you. I'll do it. I'll see you guys next week on the next call. Goodbye, everybody, and Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021.